we want to help all and each and every engineer in the company to be able to solve problems in minutes. And the way we do that is through runbooks. So our customers today are using these runbooks to run change processes, to run troubleshooting processes, to run assessments. And I think one simple example that I want to show today is a troubleshooting a slow application. So I'm going to go ahead and create this runbook. And the first thing you'll notice is that pop-up. So now you can input elements inside of the runbook. So now I can input my source and destination. Since this is a troubleshooting application, my runbook now knows that everything I do is going to be between the source and the destination. So the first thing we do here is create a live path between the 2 points. As you can see, if you're familiar with NetBrain, if you're our customers, you know this is not a trace route. We go from point A to point B. We get into each and every one of these devices on the way. NetBrain has a checklist of things it's looking for. So looking at the routing tables, the NATings, the ACLs, the VRFs, any policies, security groups, all of that across multiple vendors, across multiple technologies. And we're able to go create that path for you between the 2 points. So we'll just give it a couple seconds and this will be done. And there we go. So now that the visualization is out of the way, we know for a fact that one of these devices could be the problematic device for this issue. Next, we can now embed intent inside of runbooks. And this is what makes these runbooks incredibly powerful. The intent that we have here is, of course, it's called path troubleshooting. What it does for you is that it's going to go in there, log into each and every one of these devices, and run multiple intents to find out any possible issues. And just in a few seconds, I'll walk you through what's happening in the back. There we go. So looks like it got me 4 alerts. I'm going to take you in the back really quick and show you what the intent was doing. There we go. So what did it do? It performed a series of checks for you. We were looking at routing problems. We're looking at any ACL problems, any delays, any performance issues due to CPU memory spike. We've got a couple of problems that we did find. And this is incredible. We can go from, I don't know what the problem is, to, hey, it looks like one of these devices has some QoS packets being dropped. Right? That's how quickly now you can troubleshoot your network with the help of these intents. And not just that, we did find some drops on one of these devices. On further analysis, we also see that we also have a QoS configuration issue on one of these devices. Now, all of this has been happening inside of that intent. And we'll come back and talk more about how powerful these intents are. But next step for me is to see whether or not there's any changes that happen in my network. Because oftentimes it's due to a bad change that we come across these situations. So what I'm doing right now is I'm doing a golden config rule assessment for QoS across all these devices. And what it basically does is compares my QoS config with the gold standards. It did find something red. I'm going to click into that. And just in a matter of seconds, you're looking at exactly what the problem is. So it looks like my policy is different indeed, and there is a typo due to which the rate has not been correctly set. Now, all of this, like I said, did happen pretty quick. But what do we do from here? Well, we did find what the problem is. I'm going to go and see if I can resolve this problem from within the runbook. And if you are upgraded to the latest version of NetBrain today, you do have this feature of auto remediation. If not, I would highly recommend get this because now from the runbook itself, you can remediate to the correct config. And what we basically did here is we did a golden comparison and we found that, hey, it looks like in the golden comparison, your policy was a bit different. So do you want to roll back to the golden config? And this is how, if I click yes, it's going to take me through the change process, and with proper approvals, I'd be able to go push that change. So now that we know what the problem is, we're able to map it out. We pinpointed the root cause. We did golden assessment. We also did remediation. It's time to document everything, which is probably the most time-consuming part here because going and creating that document, getting everything right is a bit of a work. But for NetBrain, this is now a 2-minute job. So let me see if I can pull up a document that I've already done. There you go, just a few minutes ago. And it has all of this data for me. So it knows that, hey, it looks like this is the map, all the greens and reds of the checks that we performed. And most importantly, it knows that the reds is clearly telling me that the class map policy did not match the golden. And all of this is just in a couple minutes. So going back, my document is ready. And now you can also, of course, customize these documents. So you get to pick and choose what elements you need in that document. And you can, of course, go in there and edit this according to what you need, including the front page logo. We also have AI documents. So it's as simple as going in there and saying that I need this summarized for my boss, right? You click OK, and then this long document is going to convert into a shorter one. And this is just a very quick use of what AI can do to make our lives simple. With that being said, my Runbook demonstration right here ends, but you can now see that just in 4 steps, we went on creating the problem to documenting everything.